Exactly. And this is we had several guests from worldwide, and most of the people that were from former Soviet Union, they always say the same thing, that everything was good, everything. And plus I have friends, Russian friends, also other Serbian friends. We had here every now and then we have here. Nebojsa Malic, who works for RT. He's Bosnian uh, and living in Serbia. So all of them, they tell me more or less the same thing, which kind of makes me believe all of them. And as you said, everything was great, and just like that, it was not anymore. So it was really a collapse that it's hard to define. Life is great, and then the next day you don't know how you're going to survive anymore, or things like that. And I perceived these when all this started in Ukraine. I mean, I wasn't watching a complete collapse. I was watching a decline of the West, but a slow decline. And when all this started in Ukraine, it just looked like they put full gear ahead to the decline, and they are on the way for collapsing, more or less the same way as the Soviet Union. That's what scares me, because everything is fine, but we don't
Yes.
know if tomorrow it's going to be anymore. Um, so yeah, when I started this project, I was thinking about bringing as many people worldwide to bring perspectives and ideas and knowledge and data, everyday data. Um, so how was this is a curiosity for me. How was it, leaving the moment of the collapse and then seeing the country being destroyed? Because as a Serbian, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you were born in Yugoslavia, actually.
Yes.
But being a Yugoslavian at the moment, how was seeing this? And I'm sorry, I know we were supposed to talk about St. Petersburg, but a little bit later. And this is a personal curiosity. How was seeing the country collapse and being destroyed by foreign forces, divided as wish? How was living through this period?
Well,
Kind of, yeah.
in some way it was interesting. I mean, in everything you can find something good, even in very bad things. You can. What is good? That was that I find a way to improve myself, to learn more, to develop my. Um, Experience and opportunities. So this is the good part, because something totally when everything was in order, as you said, and in one moment you see that everything is collapsing. This is a motivation for you, that you need like a person to do something, to react. And for me, for myself, that was a good motivation for my future. But of course, I need to say that it was really terrible. There was disaster. Not only living with this, to seeing what when everything is collapsed, the criminality is getting very high. You cannot freely go out to walk on the street at the night. Even before you could sleep at the park at night, but in one moment everything was changed, and the economic system is collapsing, and society is getting disordered totally. The lot of propaganda, but for me, the most bad moment was how this international or mainstream medias presented us Serbian people like very bad people, terrorists, and you know that in the same time you are sacrificed and you're someone is making PR that you are not one who is in the bad position and who is attacked, and no, you are the problem, you are the terrorist, you are making the problem, and you know that it's not like that. And for me it was a good motivation to fight for the true, because I mean the Serbian people, like Russians, they have really special sense for the truth, for the justice. And yes, I was very motivated for this moment to fight for the true. And when this, I will add also about the Ukraine. When this situation in Ukraine started, it was very easy for me to understand what is happening, because I have this experience from Yugoslavia. But not only for me, I need to say, for a lot of Serbian people, because we really understand it, and we clearly see, okay, they organized the special operation Bucha, but it was the same scenario like in Rajak in Kosovo, and totally the same mechanism. When they don't want investigation to find out the proofs, what is wrong, who is the responsible for this. No, they don't want. They started immediately propaganda in medias, and also they started attacking only one side in this conflict. I mean, in Yugoslavia, it was Serbian people. We were guilty for everything, and in Ukraine, it's Russia. So it's the same, literally same. The mechanism. We speak already that I wanted to investigate how they create conflicts. And if you read this Huntington book, The Clash of Civilization, you can find a lot of there, because it's not just a book. I mean, it's doctrine. The Clash of Civilization. If you create the problems, the wars, for some structures, some global structures can find something good in this, and can find the way to develop some their platforms maybe. So yes, it's good to compare Ukraine and Yugoslavia, or Yugoslavia and Soviet Union, or even you can compare the Palestine, you can compare the problems in the Latin America states and in Africa as well. So
Yeah, exactly. That's what we try. Well, one that's important for me to bring here to the channel is to Brazilian people, of course. So, and Portuguese speaking people in a general way, but more for Brazilians, especially because we've been through a type of well, a an attempt color revolution that kind of worked. The problem is that Brazil is too big. It's too big to fail, as they used to say. So there is the need, as Russia for as China. So there is the need to chop in small pieces, and they try this every day. I mean, you go now at this moment to Twitter, and you search for um, new Brazilian map or something like that, you're going to see the same things that you see with Russia, the Russia being balkanized. You're going to see about Brazil. Wow, this region should be called this. And people think this is, many people think, oh, this is just a meme. This is just stupid. No, it's a plan. And it's
yes.
there. We start to see this being developed in the mind of people. We start to see the development, as we usually say here. The reality doesn't matter. What matters is the perception of reality. And
Yes, the people are creating the future and the reality as well. We know this like in engineers very well. So yes, I totally agree. And I think that no matter Brazil is a very big country, but Soviet Union was a big country as well. So they don't care really. They use the same mechanisms everywhere. And I think that Balkanization, it's a not good term. It's a term which they
sorry.
they designed this term. I think we should use term Londonization maybe because
Perhaps, yeah.
you find out yes, if you research you will find everywhere something from London. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's
No,
just,
no, no. It was like more like joke, not really. I
yeah.
wasn't so. Yes.
It, yeah, so we've been through this part. This was very enlightening. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
So let's pivot a little bit for business as usual. The St. Petersburg International Forum. I mean, it was interesting for me that this year I didn't see a very strong smearing campaign from the West. Well, I didn't notice, at least. Perhaps I have closed myself in the right bubble at this moment. Uh, but yet, there was also not much talked about at all.
Mhm.
They pretend it didn't happen, and last year and the years before they've been always mirroring like, oh, this is just some guys getting together to chat and stuff like that. Nobody's going, no countries are going, no important countries, they mean Europe and the United States, no important countries are going. They have to get together with these countries and stuff like that, third world countries, really smearing. And I use the term that they use to smear, of course. But in the other hand, I see a very vibrant event. So I would like to understand your impressions from the events. What are your takings from it?
Yes, it's very important to speak about the business and economic development in this moment because we are aware that this global economic system, which existed in the past, is not working anymore, and things are radically changing. So it's very important to understand this and also to involve a lot of different people to help to build a new system, because I think that we all need to build a new system, and the past is not working anymore. So if we speak about the economic forum in Russia, in St. Petersburg, Russia have few economic forums. I mean, four exactly. One is in St. Petersburg, the second is in Moscow, the third is in East, in Vladivostok usually, and fourth is at Crimea. So we don't have, in this year and past years, we didn't have economic forum in Crimea because of the situation there, and Crimea is under attack all the time by drones and rockets, and Ukrainian side is. But it's also the problem because the West is sending the weapon to Ukraine, and they are sending more and more rockets with a big distance, so they are targeted with Crimea. But let's return to the economic forum. So economic forum in St. Petersburg is the one of the most important economic forums in Russia. And every year you can find a lot of people there, representatives from different countries, and also the big companies, very important companies. As you said, in this year, I didn't find there a lot of companies from the West. But I mean, also, if you look at the Russian policy now, or Russian strategic policies to develop the relation inside the BRICS with the Latin American countries, with the African countries, and Asian as well. So they literally don't care about Europe anymore. If you come to Moscow and try to speak something about the Europe, the situation in Europe, policy, and so on, you cannot find a lot of people who are interested in that in this topic really. So the focus now for Russia is Africa, Asia, Latin America. It's very important, and there was about 136, as I read it, representatives from 136 countries, basically from Asia, Latin America, and Africa. So this economic forum in St. Petersburg, it's forum. I'm not so sure. I think from 2006 this forum exists, but I'm not sure really. But in the past years, this economic forum was also very important for these liberal structures, and even liberal structures in the Russia created this forum, and this forum was made for like Western investors. But now the things are also changing inside Russia. As I said, they don't care about the West investors anymore. So basically, this forum now is very important for creating the economic relations in the side BRICS countries, strategic economic connections with China, with India as well, with Brazil as well, with big countries. And also for supporting the domestic economy. Now in Russia, in the domestic policies to support the domestic industry, because as we mentioned before, the Soviet economy was totally destroyed, and Russia in 90s was in this transition period, perestroika, yes. But it was very harmful for the Russian economy. And in that time, we can hear from this US and EU that Russia is improving, developing democracy, and so on. But really, it's not the real situation in that time. Really, in that time, the Russia was in house, in mess. We destroyed the economy, and now what is happening, when they impose these all sanctions for Russia, I mean, Western countries, US, EU, we have now 70 package for Russian sanctions. The Russians decided that this is enough. This is enough. We try to create the good cooperation with Western countries for the last 20, 30 years, but they don't want this. And the problem is that they didn't want to allow Russia to integrate in this Western-centric global system. Especially in economic system. What they wanted is to destroy the Russian economy and to be someone who will really the rule in Russia. Who will have the power in the economical field and every field. So this is the basically problem why we have the conflict now between East and West. So the Russia decided this is enough. You don't want to cooperate. You don't want to agree that Russia we have our own interests. And state interests and people's interests. So you don't want to allow this. So we will cut all relations, or we don't care about the cooperation with West anymore. We will develop cooperation with this country who agreed to cooperate by improving positions of both countries, of both sides. And this is what is now happening. And at the same time, the focus, yes, we said already, is on developing the relations between inside the BRICS. basically. So yes, it's affecting also these liberal structures in Russia as well, and they are also changing their positions and their views, because Russia, I mean, the 30 years and even more, for decades, they developed these elites who were very um, who were based on the cooperation.
Westernized.
Yes, westernized totally, and only they want to cooperate with the Western countries, with the EU and US, and now they are changing their positions as well, because they understand it that this policy, it's over with this policy now.
Yeah, elites, people usually have a concept that elites, they prefer to be Western. No, they like money, and if money is in China, who cares
Yes,
about
no,
Europe?
no. Yes, I agree totally. Yes, yes, they don't have it's, but it's a sad story, because the people are not. We are engineers, but we know that the people are not robots. So you need to have some ideologically views. You need to have some wishes, because you're a human being. You're not only, if you only care about the material things, who are you then? The robot, or I don't know, some. It's for me, I cannot understand this position. Okay, I will support. I will support all the time something what is right. I mean, if tomorrow I see someone in Washington who is doing good things, I will support him. Or in Brazil, in Africa, everywhere. But this is the main point. You cannot support something because someone will give you the money. It's not good way. The way they dehumanize the people.